Hello, I'm Luke. Today I will give you information about an important topic. For years, I've taught people about money management, but I realized something. People are looking for the answer to the question, how do you get rich? But that's not the real question. The real question is this. Do you understand how the system keeps you trapped? Today, I'm going to show you 5 concrete layers. These 5 layers explain how money is extracted from anyone who stays below a certain savings threshold. With numbers, with real-life examples, and the name of that threshold is $20,000. Not because you're rich, because you stop being an easy target. The bank doesn't want you poor. It just wants you almost okay. Once you understand this, everything starts to make sense. A poor person doesn't make the bank much money, but a person who is almost getting by is the perfect customer. Their account goes negative twice a year. Their credit card balance overflows. They pay interest. They pay penalties. And most importantly, they're too exhausted to research better options. The bank doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to keep you in exactly that tension. First layer, overdraft fees. The first gear of the stress machine. Your account goes negative. The bank covers the transaction. Then it sends you a $35 bill. A $7 lunch turns into $35. A subscription you forgot about becomes more expensive than the subscription itself. This is not a service. This is a penalty system activated at your worst moment. What happens when you have $20,000 saved? Your paycheck is delayed. You transfer money. A bill arrives early. You cover it. The overdraft machine loses its entry point. You didn't become smarter. You just close that door. Second layer, credit card interest. They rent your crisis back to you. Credit cards, rewards, points, convenience. Those are advertisements. The truth is this. If you don't have savings, your credit card becomes your emergency fund. Your car breaks down. The card covers it. The dentist bill arrives. The card covers it. Next month, there's no money. But there's still the credit card and its payment due date. And the balance revolving at 20% interest forces you to relive that crisis over and over again. Once you have $20,000, the card becomes a tool instead of an emergency fund. You pay off the balance. Your credit score rises. The bank can no longer rely on you for interest income. Third layer, the low interest savings trap. The silent loss. At this layer, no bill arrives. No penalty appears on your account, but your money is still disappearing. Your money sits earning 0.1% interest. Somewhere else, the same money could earn 4%. On $20,000, that difference is $800 a year. Why don't you switch? Because your automatic payments are connected. Because you're used to the app. Because changing feels like a hassle. The bank understands your exhaustion, and it charges you for it. Being safe and being loyal are not the same thing. Your money can be safe somewhere else too, but there, it might also be respected. Fourth layer, the desperation premium, the invisible fee. This fee never appears on a statement, but it exists everywhere. A terrible car loan interest rate, a lease signed in a hurry, a job offer accepted without negotiation. Because if you only have $3,000 and your car breaks down, you need a solution today. The other side can feel it. The seller feels it. The employer feels it. You don't have to say anything. Desperation has body language. But if you have $20,000 and the same car breaks down, you can wait for the best offer. Same problem. Same car. Completely different negotiating power. Liquidity is patience. And patience is one of the least discussed powers in personal finance. Fifth layer, the psychological tax, the cost that never appears in any account. Under financial stress, the brain works differently. You compare less, you accept worse terms. You make impulsive purchases for small pleasures. You avoid looking at your account statements. And the system knows this. It doesn't need to create stress. It only needs to sell distress. Limited time offer. Buy now, pay later. You deserve this. Those words land differently in a calm brain than they do in a brain trapped in scarcity mode. $20,000 changes the psychological weather. It inserts a pause between the problem and the reaction, and good decisions are born inside that pause. John's story. John is 38 years old. He earns $3,500 a month after taxes, rent, car payments, bills, food. Every month, there should be a few $100s left over. But somehow, there never is. Because every month, something happens. Tires, dental work, electricity, the car again. For 3 years, his savings stretched like a rubber band between $1,500 and $4,000. Then, he changed the structure. He opened a high-yield savings account at a different institution. Not the same bank, different app, different mental space. Every payday, he automatically transferred $400. He sold his old motorcycle. He canceled 2 subscriptions. He didn't spend his tax refund. First, he reached $8,000. For the first time, he didn't need a credit card for a car repair. Then, $12,000. He checked his account balance in the morning without feeling that quiet, low-level panic. Then, $20,000. He paid off his credit card balance. His credit score improved. He refinanced his car loan. He raised his insurance deductible and lowered his premium. He switched banks to avoid maintenance fees. John's intelligence didn't change. His posture changed, and posture changes pricing. So, what should you do? First step, review the last 12 months of your statements. Overdraft fees, maintenance fees, ATM fees, interest, late fees. Add them up. Don't judge yourself. Just see them. Because not having savings is not free. It has an annual subscription cost. Second step, Separate your emergency fund from your spending account. Money that is one click away gets negotiated with by the brain. Put it somewhere safe, liquid, and slightly inconvenient to access. That inconvenience is a protective fence. Third step, build the sequence correctly. Investing while every emergency goes onto a credit card is like pouring water into a bucket with holes in it. Patch the holes first. Fourth step, don't see $20,000 as the finish line. See it as the platform. From there comes retirement accounts, low-cost index funds, debt payoff. But the order matters. First stability, then growth. You do not beat the bank by hating it. You beat it by understanding incentives. A bank is a business, a lending business. A credit card company is a business. Their job is to price risk and maximize profit. Your job is to stop being the easiest profit center in the room. That first $20,000 is not just cash. It is accumulated patience, accumulated discipline, accumulated breathing room. When someone offers you a bad deal and expects you to accept quickly, there's a quiet voice behind you saying, "We can wait." And in a world designed to profit from your urgency, the ability to wait is where financial power begins. If you found this video helpful, send it to someone around you. Maybe you know someone who needs to hear this right now.